Today in studio, we have with us Mr. Sacha Ragueneau. So welcome to studio, man.
Thanks for having me, man. Pleasure to be here.
It's good to see your face, and I really thought it was important for you to share your story. You have such an interesting story and such a great family. I love your whole energy, man. So I think it's great that we share your story. So okay, so right now, like we closed, everything's kind of done. You're moved. You're in Beaconsfield.
Yes, I am.
And only like a couple of weeks ago you moved, right?
Yeah, literally I moved in last Tuesday.
Wow.
So it's been just over a week and a half. So
yeah. How are you liking it?
Loving it. I figured I'd love it. I love the area. It just feels like a home. Just the right location, the right house, perfect family setting. Something about being close to the water too. Yeah, honestly, it's what I wanted.
to see you and Karine so happy at the notary and getting your keys, it meant the world to me. But let's go back a little bit. So how did this come about? Like, if I can set it up a little bit, you have your significant other, Karine, who's awesome. Your better half. Did I say? I know it's cliche.
Most times, yeah.
I know it's cliche, but when it's true,
yeah. When it's true, it's true. 70% of the time, it's true.
And you guys are building a family, and so tell me a little bit. Take us back. How did that start? Because you guys did I believe an upgrade to Beaconsfield, which is right now. So take us back a little bit.
Yeah, well, we certainly think it's an upgrade at least. That's always aim for the stars. We keep pushing forward. So long story short, Karine and I met a few years ago. She was living in the South Shore in Blaines. I was in St. Henry. In my pad. Next thing you know, we moved in together. Things got serious. While we're looking for homes, she announced that she was pregnant for her first one, Tyler. So I really was kind of strong towards the Southwest area. So that whether that's St. Henry, Griffintown, maybe Pointe Saint-Charles, Verdun. And then we noticed, just as we went through the search, we realized that we're having our kids. We wanted probably a yard, something bigger. So I went all the way to LaSalle, which for me, you would have told me LaSalle a few years ago, I'm like, I wouldn't want to be there.
Yeah, I wouldn't have pictured you in
no,
LaSalle.
No, exactly. But that's life, right? And then we found a nice place in a cul-de-sac, close to the water. And for me, I was really strong, and I still want to be close to the city within 15, 20 minutes, which I was. And then Karine was from like I said, the South Shore. So we found a home we really loved. It was basically our first time buyers, I guess, together. We loved the place. It was beautiful. But it was kind of without seeming too huffy-puffy, we wanted something a bit nicer where we could see ourselves bring up our kids, raising our family. And I think when we went to the West Island, especially near Pointe Claire Village, which really has a vibe, it kind of has that country feel, which Karine really likes the country, but also within the city, accessible to everything, close to the water. We really kind of fell in love, especially with Pointe Claire, Beaconsfield area. And then you, my friend, you helped us find the perfect home. It was actually we as you know, we made an offer, and then we made the second offer on this one. Yeah, we really fell in love with it. So now, we're just in it. We're just getting settled. But we absolutely love the area and where we're at. Yeah.
And I know I've told you this before, but I'll tell our audience. I think that you're very courageous. Your family went through a very courageous thing, and I appreciate you putting your trust in me for guiding you and helping you navigate through such a transaction. So just to paint the picture, you were we had to put in an offer conditional on the sale of your house.
Correct. Yep.
Right. So not only were we first we needed to find where you were going to go, right? Mm-hmm. So what were some of the parameters you were looking for at that point? What made you feel like you needed to grow and upgrade, and what were you kind of looking for?
Yeah. Put it this way, LaSalle was a good area. Like I said, for the reasons I mentioned before, it's close to the city, pretty bilingual. But it just felt like in LaSalle, at least, it's almost like there were certain pockets that were nice. We're almost not the nicest house, but one of the nicest houses in an okay neighborhood. We wanted a better neighborhood, whatever that means. Somewhere that's safe. Also, because we both speak French at home, Karine and I, with the kids, we did want the kids to be more in an English environment. Where they'd be able to kind of, constantly have both languages. Which LaSalle had that a little bit, but Beaconsfield is probably a bit more Anglophone, considering it's the West Island. So that certainly was a factor also. So, go back to your question, your bucket list was kind of close to the city, English speaking, and a place that Karine likes, of course, and I like. And, drawing all that, we kind of went through the list. And it's funny because a few years ago, actually, Karine and I made a list of places we'd both be like, just like put a paper, write 3 places where you see yourself in 2 years. At the same thing. And Beaconsfield was actually our match, funny enough.
Wow.
So we kind of like, and it's like any search. When you start searching for a home, you're like, oh, I thought I liked this area. And then you realize, maybe not that much. Or maybe you start drawing the circle a bit closer and like maybe between this street and this street. And then we really kind of focus on Point Claire, Beaconsfield, that area.
Right.
And this is exactly smack down where we found the house.
Right, exactly. Because I remember our search parameters was exactly that. And it's always a conversation between couples where they're going to move and where they're going to grow their family, and,
for sure.
And especially the bilingualness of your decision.
Yeah,
you
always
speak
a
French.
factor.
Yeah, and that's very Montreal. Like it's so Montreal to have that. The French and English, we thrive together. We get along, and since you guys are both francophones, but you're both bilingual, and you wanted your kids to be bilingual, you speak French at home, and that's I think that makes our city so much richer, having those avenues. I think, Anyways, I think it's a gem. So, okay, so we visit a few places, and we ended up coming upon the one that you eventually bought. So we put in the offer. Well, you guys called me, and I remember you said, "Okay, Blaine, I think we're gonna put in an offer." Was it an automatic that you both wanted that house, or what about that house? What were the aspects of it that brought you to that specific house?
I think we as we were looked online, obviously, and looking for homes in the area. And when we visited, Karine and I had passed by, just us in the circle, and we're like, I like this house, but I want to see it. I want to see what feels inside. You want to go back during the day, later during the day when the sun sets, in the morning, in the afternoon, just get a better vibe. I think cul-de-sac, once you have young kids, having a cul-de-sac really is like, I didn't realize how important it was until you have kids. Just the freedom, the safety of having them play outside certainly adds a layer of it's just value right there. And the house had character, Is the house perfect? Is it modern? No, but I think it's all about location. Being in smack down pretty much within a kilometer or two circle of where you want to be, in a cul-de-sac, in a house that's beautiful, that has character, you could put a bit more love and update through time. Yeah. So it just unfolded, and Karine and I looked at each other and we're like, okay, we're gonna make an offer. And I remember we're outside the house and we're like, let's make an offer, let's submit it, let's go.
Yeah.
We're leaning it. We started leaning into it, and then you lean. You're like, what are you waiting for? What's the next step? You want it or you don't? So
exactly.
Let's get in the game now, and then we made the offer.
Wow. And what a journey also, because when from my perspective as your broker, I thought that, but when we were ready for that house, we were ready. And I was so proud of us and how we got there. And because, we did put in an offer a few months before at a house and on a house. And, unfortunately that didn't work out. But I think, from losing out on multiple offers on that house, I think from there, you guys were able to pivot in a way where you said to yourselves, you know what, for the next house that we like, we want to be ready. So we just we put the gas on the brake. We put the gas on the pedal to the metal in terms of getting ready.
Yeah.
Do you remember I said, okay, so now let's do the photos for your house. Let's get your house ready to sell.
Yeah.
So when the time comes for us to put in an offer, your house can go up in the market.
Yeah.
In
for sure. I think it's a good point. We almost were testing the market, newbies, kind of getting to know. Okay, let's make an offer, see what happens, kind of like throw and pray. Versus the second house, which we really liked, which was the house we got. We're ready to battle. The listing's up. We're ready to go. We're making an offer. We're putting an offer at a price we think is based on, the lessons you've had from the other house, what you think it's worth, what you're comfortable with. And I remember you telling me, put as much as you can that you're comfortable with. And that resonated, because I'm like, that's exactly it. How badly do you want the house?
Yeah,
I'm not going to
because it was in multiple offers. Just for context, there was another offer.
Yeah, exactly. But this is what we're comfortable with, but it shows that we're serious. We have intent, momentum. We're coming in. and we're ready to go. We're ready to roll. You know.
And there's something interesting there because I find that, in order for a broker to say that to a client, put as much as you want, the feeling needs to be mutual, where you know as a client that this is the house for you, but also I know it's for you. So and brokers need to know when to push and when not to push. So I felt it, and we had a great synergy working as a client, buyer broker relationship where that was the right time to do the pushing, and you guys were ready, and we ended up winning the bid.
For sure.
And that was great. Once we win the offer, we get our offer accepted on your new house. That's the first win of down the whole timeline of the whole transaction.
Yeah.
So, it's celebratory, it's great, but we all know what's next.
Yeah, for sure. You're right. It's like kind of like the battle's not won, it's the first win. It feels good. You're going in the right direction. Got the first hurdle out of the way. Now you're like, all right, what's the next step? And it's almost, and I realized that with the first house, the further down you go, if you don't get it or something happen, it hurts even more, right?
Yeah.
So I think we're excited, obviously, when they accepted the offer, but at the same time, we're just like, all right, let's be sane here. Let's be,
Exactly, and it's tough.
Let's
not
tread
to,
slowly.
Yeah, it's tough not to get too excited. But now we got to sell your house.
Yeah.
Within the price that you need to buy this house.
Correct.
So we needed to navigate that. When we did our market research, and we did our due diligence, and we I think we hit the nail on the head on that one. We priced it right. I was in New York when it hit the market. I was doing my broker loading. I was in New York.
Right. Yeah.
I finished my broker loading for the first visits to start the following day. I was coming back in the morning the next day. As soon as I pressed load,
boom,
I was getting calls.
Nice.
I was getting calls. I was at my friend's place in New York, and I'm getting calls for your property. And I couldn't wait to let you know that, okay, look, it's been up an hour, and we already have 5 visits booked for tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it was like, we at this point when I gave you so much action, like when so much action came, did that help to alleviate some of the stress? Because you're at this point, you're not. I don't want to say stressed, but like you already have an accepted offer. You want your house to sell. Like, how did you feel at this point?
I was excited. I remember because it was actually my youngest daughter Haley's birthday. We're all outside in the cul-de-sac in LaSalle, obviously the house we lived. And then you called me and you're just like, yeah, we have tons of offers, and there's visits, and there's even a person that wants to come in before the open house because we scheduled an open house, right? And he's like, he wants to come in earlier. So I was excited because for me, I think in the whole process, the most stressful point was more not about putting an offer and getting accepted. That's good. I was happy about that. Like I said, it's just actually selling my house. Like, who wants to buy my house? Is it my house nice? Is it, you start questioning yourself, and that's normal. It's part of the process. And Karine, as the opposite, she was really confident that our house would sell no matter what, and she was more nervous about the offer. For me, it was the opposite, where the offer was like, okay, we'll just put an offer. If it's a good offer, it's it's reasonable. Like I said, it's within our capacity. It was more about our house, but our house, we put some love into it. It was also in a cul-de-sac. We updated it. It was modern. So I guess looking back, we should have felt pretty confident about that our house would sell, at the price we're comfortable with. So I was excited, when the news came in that but again, visits are one thing, offers are like another thing. Getting an offer is something else. It's like a funnel, right?
It's a funnel, yeah, exactly.
As you know.
And that was fun. That was fun because I had of course that first visit came, and there was a lot of action, as surrounding your house. The open house was full. We had the whole cul-de-sac was filled with was filled with cars and kids running around. Like, it was so funny. And also, do you remember? Like, I'll take a sidestep here. Do you remember the story about the cat?
Oh my God, yeah.
This is funny.
This is weird. Like,
this is I think and I've told this to other brokers, and brokers, they never heard about this. So we'll take a sidestep to talk about this because this is funny. So we were at the open house, and the neighbor's cat. Now, the neighbor's cat was comfortable coming to your house, right? Because we live in a cul-de-sac, obviously. I'm sick of saying I live in a cul-de-sac. I think the audience will get it. Yeah, we get it.
Okay, we get it, dude. It's fine. But our neighbor, her name was Dana. She's a cat who always roams around. So sometimes, like, I open the door and he'll like sneak in, or he's always around, right? His name is Dipsy, so he's always around. But basically, you had a visit on a Friday, and we go to the cottage. We go to the country house to leave you time, obviously, to schedule visits. And I think when you did that visit, or no, you weren't even. Sorry, you
No,
weren't
it
even
was
there.
it was a lockbox.
You're right. There was a lockbox.
It was a lockbox, and I was normally there for the visits, but this one I couldn't be there, and it was a broker that I knew. So I said, yeah, we'll use the lockbox.
Okay,
and I
yeah,
gave him
sorry,
the
that's
code.
it. Yeah.
So the other broker went in.
Yeah, so he got in. So whatever, we go for the weekend. All good. We come back Sunday. We go into the house, and then upstairs in our bedroom, there's like on the pillow, there's like a crease, like a dent, like somebody was there, and full of hair, like just super hairy. We're just like, oh my god, like who are these people coming to visit our home? How comfortable can they get? Like, right?
Now this is after like a visit and open house, so like
Yeah, exactly.
You expect traffic, but not like hair on the bed.
No. Don't get too comfortable. And then also in the living room, or on Tyler's, my son's room, there's also a dent with like hair everywhere. I was like, what's going on? And then in the meantime, my neighbor, Dana, sends a message saying, hey, I lost my cat. I haven't seen my cat in 48 hours. I'm getting worried. So we look at the cameras. There's no signs of no cat. So it's kind of weird. And then we realized, shit, the cat was locked in the house for 48 hours. He spent 2 nights in our house.
Exactly.
And then you found it.
So yeah, exactly. So basically, when you guys were away for the weekend, so when I came in to do the open house, I came early setting up, and all of a sudden, a cat just jumps from the stairs and scares the crap out of me. I'm just like, whoa! And there was this cat there, and I'm like, and I know you guys don't have a cat. And I'm like, oh my god, this cat's one of the neighbors. It has a collar, so it's like it's not a stray. It's a cat. It's one of your neighbors. So I let out the cat. And that's fine. And then, but like I didn't have more time to focus on the cat. So the cat's out.
You didn't know the story at that point either.
No, I didn't know the story.
Yeah.
So for me, it was only a cat. So I let the cat out. And then what happened was that I had said, okay, I have to get this open house ready. So, open houses are crazy. So people who don't know, you have a lot of people coming in. Well, I'm sure everyone knows, but a lot of people coming in, they're asking a lot of questions about the house. People are coming in with brokers, but also people are coming in on their own, and your attention is divided between a lot of people. And since we priced it so well, we had a lot of people in the house. Anyway, so I'm talking, and I'm not the last thing in my mind is about this cat. And I'm talking, and I'm zoned in on every conversation, and you have to judge with people. Are people serious? Are they not? Because I'm not going to spend the majority of my time with someone who they said, oh, we're just window shopping. We're not buying for another year.
Yeah.
So how about the renovations and asking me demanding questions. Like, I won't spend too much time with those people. But some people are quiet, they're walking around, they need to be approached. So you need to be dialed in on all of these things. So I was dialed in. So that I'd put the cat out of my mind. Anyway, so what happened was that one of the visitors who came to the open house, they were with a broker, but the broker wasn't with them at that time because they arrived later. Had this interaction with your neighbor, and the neighbor wasn't too happy.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, because they had kids with them, and the kids were leaving the patio door open as they were going in and out, and the neighbor reminded them. I don't know how she said it, but she reminded them, hey, can you close the door during the open house?
Yeah.
And the parents who were there noticed the neighbor addressing the kids.
Yeah.
And it turned them off of the
Not
neighborhood
a good
because
start.
they felt like, oh, the neighbors, but really it's the cat that wants to go inside. That's been inside she lost her cats for 2 nights. So she was just reacting. Oh my God. So that's funny. So the broker ended up telling me that, my clients, they were going to put in an offer, but because of the situation with the neighbor, they didn't like it. And I'm like, oh my God.
I remember that, and I still don't know what neighbor. We don't know what neighbor that was. We still don't know. Well, we have an idea, but yeah. Anyways,
that's crazy. Yeah. Anyways, I never
we sold the house, right? So
exactly. Yeah. Not to dwell on that too much, but I thought that was a funny story. So So anyway, so getting back to the transaction, going into the negotiation, and because we had multiple offers, so I think what we tried to play on that side was trying to get the most, right? Because that's my job, is to get you the most of that. So we ended up did we tell our viewers we ended up in a good spot?
Yeah, we went over asking, right? We were able to get higher than asking. But for me, that process was probably the most stressful. Was probably waiting for offers and that 24 hours of waiting for the counter offer. I think it's just the anticipation. It's like waiting for good news, bad news. Is it coming? When? That process was it was something.
Yeah, because with each offer, with each counter offer, there's a time limit.
Timestamps, yeah,
So
timeline, yeah.
so you need to wait. So,
Yeah.
I remember receiving texts from you like, "Did you hear anything?"
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure he'll let us know if he hears something. But
Yeah.
I think for Karine and I, those nights were not sleepless, but they weren't the most restful nights. Put it that way. Just waiting, it's like the waiting game, right?
Yeah.
Like just tell me no or tell me yes, but don't make me just and then you're like 24 hours up in like 2 hours. Like what are they waiting for?
Yeah.
Why they
And the right offer too. It has to be the right amount, but it also has to be the right timeline because your purchase needed to fit into a specific timeline.
Yeah.
And so that means that your sale needed to fit in a specific timeline. So we needed to really nail down our dates together with the timeline.
For sure, yeah.
And so that also played into consideration on the offers that you would accept or not.
Yeah. The stars had to align.
And so we did accept an offer, and they were a growing family as well, I believe. Something similar to you all, I believe.
The ones
buyers?
that got the house.
The ones that bought your house.
Yeah. So they're similar, more or less the same. Couple, same age range, 2 young kids. They were coming from an apartment.
Right.
So picture coming from an apartment going into like a home.
Yeah.
With a backyard, a
Big pool.
Big pool.
Oh, that pool
like
is
oh my
amazing.
God, I could we kind of went through that when we had our kids.
Yeah.
As our first house. For me, it was the whole story is about an upgrade. But to get in the market from an apartment to house, that was kind of like their story,
Right.
If I could
Right.
say.
Yeah, you can. And I think it was such a win-win in that situation. I'm really, 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 really happy that that everything worked out, and and it should, and I was happy to help you navigate that, and it was such a pleasure working for you and your family, and so you're happy, like everything's good.
Yeah, we're super happy, man. And if I may say, as we're best friends, but thanks for just guiding us through that whole process. It's not an easy process, especially with all that work, family life, young kids, a lot of moving parts. I felt there was trust there. You were guiding us every step, and the follow-ups are important. Is everything okay? Let me know. You want me to do this, more that? I think it was important to feel like you have someone there with you, holding your hand through the whole process from the very minute we talked about it to when the deal's done. You're there every step of the way. So that certainly felt reassuring and helped us build trust. So yeah. Thanks, mate.
That's amazing, man. I would hug you with the microphone.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again for coming on the podcast and helping me, film this and share with our audience.
Absolutely.
Your story.
This was epic. This was awesome. Thanks so much, man.
we gotta hang out again.
All right.
But before we go, you work at Airbnb, right?
I do. I work at Airbnb.
Let me plug you a little bit here.
All right, plug me. This is it. So I guess as you say, you sell the dream. I rent the dream. So basically, you're selling houses. I rent vacation homes for Airbnb Lux. So basically, it's a luxury tier of Airbnb. So it's private villas across the world that kind of went through a 300-point inspection, we call it. So they're luxury tier of the standard is quite high. You're dealing with the high-end net worth individuals looking to book villas, whether that's in Mexico, San Martin, San Bart, Italy, France, Spain, you name it. We're there. And I also basically help them all along the way from the inquiry, when they're interested about a villa, to all the way until they go home and they're done their vacation. So it's just that it's a seamless experience for them, from booking the home to getting their chef, the driver, the whole conciergerie aspect about it.
Oh, wow.
So it's really A to Z for your vacation rental home.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So it's like you add a more, you hold their hand a little bit more, like
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
more of a white glove service.
Really, it's a really high-end white glove service where you really kind of, make sure that their experience is amazing, seamless. You want to book this home. What are your needs? What are your requests? How can I get it? Keep them informed, keep them up to date, make sure that it's as frictionless as possible, that they're happy when they come home. And at the end of the day, they want to come back to you for their next vacation, whether that's their ski vacation, their summer vacation, whatever it is. Right?
Wow. How can people reach you if they wanted to book with you? Sacha Ragueneau?
Yeah, Sacha Ragueneau. Just find me on LinkedIn.
Well, that's great, man. And before we sign off, who you got for Super Bowl?
I'm going to go for 49ers, man.
49ers?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Well,
Airbnb's head office is from San Francisco.
Oh,
so
there you
there
go.
you go. Yeah.
Well, I'm going for KC. I'm a Mahomes
Sounds
boy.
good, baby.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Pleasure, man.
All right, take care.